Good afternoon. My name is Anthony Moreau. I'm the CEO of American Eagle Gold. And with me again is Mr. David Shadrick. David Shadrick is a director of American Eagle Gold. He's the individual who has optioned the Golden Trend, our flagship property, to American Eagle Gold. He knows this land better than anyone else. David is also involved. David, what is the group you're involved with, the coalition? It's a bit of a tongue twister for me.
It is a tongue twister. It's the Nevada Mineral Exploration Coalition, which is an advocacy group for the exploration industry of Nevada.
Now, David's been around a long time. He has a lot of experience. There's not many people that know exploration Nevada better than him. And we're very, very happy to have the Golden Trend. It's right attached to the Cortez JV owned by Barrick and Newmont. But obviously, we're looking at the Golden Trend. We want to put money there, but we want to make smart, accretive deals that's going to bring value to shareholders. I was having a meeting with Dave, and Dave's great. Anytime I talk to him, I want to call him, he picks up. And I say, David, you've been around a long time. You've seen everything. There must be a property. There must be something in your closet, in your cupboard, some files, a property you've always wanted to look at, something that you really saw had world-class potential. Is there anything like it? What'd you say, David?
Well, right off the top of my head, I was talking about Cerros Rojos, which is a property I've been involved in. Good heavens, I don't want to say, for a long time.
So David told me this. He goes, Tony, there's a property called Red Hills, Cerros Rojos. He goes, and tell me if I'm wrong, Dave. And you really got me. You really captured my imagination. You said I drive out there to East Nevada, 70 miles outside from any town, and I go walk there. I really saw big potential there, and I go back there and I kick the stones there and make sure that no one's claimed that land. And he said, I think it's still available. And what did I say, Dave?
You said, let's go stake it, which I thought was just wonderful. And that's what we did. We staked it.
Look, combine someone like you with an opportunity where we can stake it at a very low cost and create a lot of upside for investors. It's a no-brainer for us. Now, can you tell us a little bit more of a background on Cerro Rojo, what work you did there, and why you're so excited about it?
Cerros Rojos, or Red Hills, as you said, was identified when I was doing a prospecting contract for Freeport-McMoRan. And I was out well away from where anybody had been looking before, doing what they call generative exploration. And what you do there is try to identify a geologic environment, the right kinds of rocks, the right kinds of structures that could host something like, let's say, Alligator Ridge. And you wander around out there, and that's basically what it is wandering around out there, looking for signs of hydrothermal activity. Of signs that a mineral system exists. Well, I was driving along the front range of the Red Hills and spotted some jasperoids. These are silicified limestones, which are often indicative of a hydrothermal system. Sometimes they're not, but often they are. That piqued my interest, got out and started wandering around, decided that there were enough jasperoid rocks out there to merit some real attention. I got Freeport-McMoRan to stake a bunch of claims. Once we got the claims in the ground, we had a rather aggressive exploration program planned. And in their infinite wisdom, they decided to get out of Nevada and spin off their gold interests into Independence Mining. That was just the Jarrett Canyon mine. So Independence didn't want to have any prospecting or anything else. So there I sat with 500 and some claims and no work done on it. So I promptly went out there and started hiking around, taking samples. I collected many, many, many samples. Most of them, as it always happens, didn't have much of anything in them. And then I stumbled into one spot that had good grade, just one small outcrop, believe it or not, that had good grade sticking out of the ground. I don't remember the exact number, to be honest, but I think it was something like 0.02 or 0.03 ounces per ton gold. That really did the deal. And I took that package off to Cordex Mining, Andy Wallace and those guys. They're very famous explorers. They took the property under option and did a magnificent job of exploration. They did a magnificent job, did a lot of sampling, drilled a hole right there at what I call the anomaly, got an excellent intercept from the surface on down to about, I think, 20 or 30 feet and about 80 feet of highly anomalous material. But they tried to offset that and it didn't go anywhere. And none of the other work gave them any real exciting results. So they bailed out. This was back in the early 90s. I couldn't afford to keep the claims, all of those claims. So they kind of went by the wayside. But I maintained my interest in the project and continued going out there looking around. I put a bit more of the package together, did a bit more geology, got some ideas on some new targets, and attracted another small Canadian junior resource company to come in. And unfortunately, all they did was drill a twin hole on the good one at the anomaly, which demonstrated that the anomaly is really there. But that's basically all they did. Again, it's a funding situation, unfortunately. So then, and this was back in the late 90s, the area was dropped again. I kept going back there every once in a while, looking at it, always thinking about it. I've got several what I consider very good ideas about targeting and what's going on. And it's just been sitting there. Nobody else is good. Well, Cordex picked up some property about 5 miles east of there, but that's the closest that anybody's come to doing anything there. And that's the project I mentioned to you. I think it's an excellent shot at certainly a Alligator Ridge style thing or a Bald Mountain style thing, which are very nice deposits. And we have the additional now new understanding of collapsed breccia mineralization systems from the Long Canyon deposit that actually expands the potential there quite a bit. We could have several different styles of deposit, but there's never really been enough three-dimensional work there. I've got very good surface geology that was done by Cordex, extremely good, and a lot of good surface sampling and good geochemistry if we ever put it all together. And the trick is we've got to start drilling. We've got to get out and drill some of those places.
Dave, we have to do some MT and some seismic to understand what's underneath before we do the drilling, right?
Yeah, that's going to be up to Mark. What he thinks is best to do there. I'm not much in the way of geophysics myself, so some kind of geophysics is necessary to get us a little more three-dimensional information, and then we need to go to drilling.
Just really quickly, what was the main reason that attracted you to that so much? Because it is 70 miles away from the closest town. What makes you so excited about it?
Well, every discovery well, not everyone, but most discoveries I've made have been well away from any place or anything that anybody else is doing. I like to be out doing things, new things. Gold Bar was discovered in an area that had no previous work. There weren't any prospect pits on it or anything else. The nearest thing was something like 20 miles away at Tonkin Springs. Grassy Mountain in Oregon, which is another discovery that my crew made, was out there well away from anything known. So it's just the kind of thing that I like to do. And when you find a place that nobody has messed around with, that has the right kind of rocks, which is what you have there at Cerros Rojos, you have the right kind of rocks, you have the right kind of structure, and then you're lucky enough to find clear evidence of a gold-bearing hydrothermal system. What's not to be excited about? This is a magnificent opportunity that nobody has been able to do anything with in the past.
Well, David, you told me about this. You sold it to me, and I said go stake it, and now we're partners on it. I'm very
Yes,
happy to have you involved. One thing that we do is we listen to our partners. You know the land better than anyone else. I believe Mark is one of the best geologists focusing on Nevada, and we work with you two. I think it's to the moon, and I'm really excited about the opportunity, and I look forward to continuing to work with you. And thank you for giving us the background on Cerros Rojos.
you bet.
Thank you.